What's up, guys? Welcome back to X Films, and today we're doing a movie review of the new movie Deadpool and Wolverine. Let's get into it. Alright, guys, so I just recently saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and I'm sure you guys have, or you're about to, or you're doing research about it because you want to go see it. And undoubtedly so, you should, because it's one of the highest grossing films, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved this movie. I don't like Marvel movies, I don't like the MCU very much. Some of them are entertaining, but for me, that's exactly what they are. They're just entertainment from my point of view as a filmmaker. But, I like the Deadpool franchise because they're given an R rating and they're able to kind of push the dialogue, push the jokes, push the action sequences, and things like that. So I like to go, I suspend my disbelief when I go to watch these films to kind of give an unbiased opinion about it and to like watch it from a filmmaker's point of view and from an unbiased point of view. With that being said, this film was highly entertaining. Compared to the other two films, I haven't seen them recently, but I think this one definitely stands out quite a lot. It's definitely different in the fact that he takes advantage of this whole new concept that's going on in the Marvel universe, or everybody's talking about, is this multiverse. This movie is about basically Deadpool. He's going through a midlife crisis, and he has to go back and save his reality. His current reality that he's in. He has to save it by going back in time and basically bringing back Wolverine. If you guys seen the Wolverine movies, they're amazing. My favorite one was Logan, obviously because it's an R-rated film, and they also pushed the boundaries on that. So Deadpool's job is to go back, get Wolverine, and basically bring him back into his universe and use him to save his universe. And going through this process of him saving his universe, he encounters a couple of villains, and two main villains. And basically, I don't want to have any spoilers, so I'm trying to figure out the words to phrase this, but he basically ends up in certain aspects where he has to basically fight his way to make it back to his universe and to stop from his universe collapsing. And in order to do this, he gets sent to this place. It's basically purgatory. Don't want to get too much into it, but this purgatory basically allows him to bring in other characters that we either have seen in the past or we haven't been able to see in this Marvel universe. And personally, I love this. At first, it kind of like took me out of it because when he's going through these different universes or like different dimensions and stuff like that, it kind of like kind of takes me out of the film because I feel like it has to be following a structure and a timeline when I watch a film. But in this aspect, he had to do that in order to have creative liberty to introduce these characters and in order to make the story work for this particular film. So that was something that kind of took me out, but I ended up enjoying it because I suspended my disbelief. I enjoyed it thoroughly because of the characters that he brought. And of course, Deadpool and Wolverine aren't just like best buds right off the bat. There is a lot of action sequences between the two of them. There's a lot of action sequences throughout the entire film. They don't hold back. It's very bloody. It's very. They just really get into it, and the jokes that they have is honestly insane. Like there's some sequences that you're just like, wow, that is crazy, and the fact that that is able to be accepted, especially by Disney, in today's world, and because we live in such a woke world, is it's honestly astonishing. And they've talked about it. Ryan Reynolds, he's been interviewed, and he spoke about how he was surprised how they were able to get away with so many jokes and the dialogue that they use, and they were nervous every time they submitted a script for review. But luckily, because it's an R-rated film and they gave him creative liberty, they were able to basically be as raunchy as possible, not hold back, and basically make a lot of jokes. I was laughing the entire time. Honestly, it was highly entertaining. In the end, um, don't want to spoil it, but it was a fantastic movie. It's highly entertaining, and it was beautifully shot. It was shot on the ARRI. Obviously, a lot of these things are computer generated images on the computer, but the filmmaker, the director Sean Levy, has an extensive credits for the amount of work that he's produced. And I don't know too many of his films, but as I look at his credits, you could see that he's worked a lot on comedy movies. So he's got the, I guess, the know-how on how to create a really really funny film. I saw he was a producer of actually one of my favorite sci-fi films, which is called Arrival, and it's an alien film. So obviously he knows what he's doing, and he knows how to make a successful film. Him coming to the project, he definitely brought it to life when he brought Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman together. He was able to develop a chemistry between the two of them in a comedic way that had you constantly engaged and constantly seeing how these two different dynamics of one guy who's extremely annoying and just constantly cracking jokes and won't shut up, and this other serious character who's just filled with guilt and just hatred, and he just like wants to kill Deadpool and hates him. But in the end of the day, they work out their differences and they come together to team up. So the way they developed the chemistry between the two characters was amazing. He used an RELF, which is beautifully shot. There's some sequences throughout here, and camera angles and positions and things like that that really shows what kind of filmmakers these guys are, and the thoughts that are the thoughtfulness that they put between every single shot. For example, there is one shot that is very similar to a classic film called Old Boy. So that was almost like a homage to that. The lighting techniques that they used, also the editing. They did have quite a lot of editing that they did in order to keep you engaged, to keep the pacing flowing throughout the film, and in order to basically tie in the story, right? For me, because I haven't seen the other Deadpools in a very long time, they edited in a way where they incorporated flashbacks that allowed you to kind of re-immerse yourself into the story of the previous films, and to see, oh, this is why he feels this way, this is why he's acting this way, and this is why Hugh Jackman feels this particular way. So they do a fantastic job of doing these things. I'm not a huge fan of CGI, but they did a great job, especially with the villain, when she does this particular trick that she does to her opponents. And I thought it was very interesting in how they utilized that in order to show you what kind of person she is, and what she does to basically attack her enemies with her hand. Let's just say that. That'll be the only spoiler I'll say. But yeah, in the end of the day, this movie was hilarious. It was jam-packed with action. They pushed the boundaries with the dialogue, the raunchiness, and the blood. The chemistry between the two actors was hilarious. It was beautifully shot. The editing was fantastic. CGI was obviously out of this world. And I would have to give this film, even though I'm not a huge Marvel or superhero guy, I would have to give this film an 8.7 out of 10. Those are my opinions. Those are my thoughts. This is more of I would say, an entertaining film. And I do plan on doing more reviews in regards to films that go deeper into the cinematic aspects. I just saw this film, so I wanted to kind of get this out, get my little review out, and so you guys can see my opinion. But with future projects or future reviews that I plan on doing, you guys will get a more in-depth breakdown and review of cinematics, the director, the choices they made, lighting techniques, the scripts, things like that. So thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe if you haven't. Welcome to my channel, and stay tuned for the next review.